up, guys? I'm Jake, and welcome back to the channel. As you can see today, we have a special guest, my dad. So he, he's the one who taught me about hydroponics, and I still have a whole bunch to learn. But I'm gonna be asking him questions and telling you guys about the next 5 weeks.
Cool. Sounds like a plan.
So, Dad.
Yes, sir.
What is hydroponics?
Hydroponics is where you are growing a plant in water instead of the ground. Easiest way to put it. There's lots of other ins and outs, but that's the easiest way to kind of describe it. Water versus the soil.
Nice. How is it different than growing in soil?
Okay. So the biggest thing is that you've got plants, and there's the stuff that's above ground, and there's stuff that's below ground. The stuff that's below ground is the root system, and the root system holds the plant in place. Okay. With hydroponics, there's nothing to actually hold the roots in place because they're floating in water. So it's kind of a couple different tricks you can do to get everything to lock in place pretty
Then
well.
how does the roots get stuck?
They don't get stuck. They actually just float, and right where the plant touches the water, because remember hydroponics is growing in water, where it touches the water, there's usually something called a net pot, or there's some grodan or something that holds it in place and separates the top from the bottom. And we'll definitely talk about all that stuff and show you some examples, and when we start building our projects, everybody will see what's going on.
Alright. What are some different types of hydroponics?
Okay. There's 3 types that we're going to talk about on this channel, and then there's some variations that you can kind of go back and forth on. But the 3 main types are going to be deep water culture, so it's DWC.
DWC?
There is the NFT, which is nutrient film technique.
Okay.
Okay. And then there is something called the Kratky method, and that one is kind of like deep water culture, but there's a couple differences. So I'll tell you the difference here in just a few moments.
Okay.
Nutrient film technique is really thin area where the root sits, and the water is constantly flowing past it. And within that water, there's some food for the plant, nutrients.
Yes.
Deep water culture is deep. Okay, so the roots grow all the way down in usually giant buckets or big troughs. And then
Like what you use to feed a horse?
Exactly. Yeah, you can actually use troughs. Same thing, just a giant area that's kind of deep, and you can use those things to grow plants in. There's fiberglass, plastic, and whole 9 yards. And then the other one is Kratky. Kratky method is where you don't add anything, like there's no extra nutrients after the first dose. There's no extra air that's bubbled in. Nothing. You just get the plant started, put it in the system, and then walk away. And then you come back, 30, 40 days later, and you have lettuce or bunching onions or basil or cilantro or all sorts of fun stuff. And again, we're going to do all 3 of those on this channel.
Alright.
Cool.
What type do you like the best and why?
Ooh, depends on what I'm growing and what kind of time I have. If everything's automated and I can just kind of set it and forget it, I like the nutrient film technique, NFT. It works really well for me with the kind of stuff that we like to grow back there with the leafy greens for salads. A close second is Kratky, because I like the idea of not putting all this extra energy into the system.
Yep.
There's no air bubblers, there's no extra equipment you need to buy. You literally can just go get a 5-gallon bucket from the store and a lid. But yeah, there's lots of different easy ways to do things with Kratky. But I think NFT first, then the Kratky method, and then probably deep water culture is the last, my least favorite, because it uses so much water. And the idea is if we're doing something like this, we want to make sure that we're conserving and using the least amount of resources as possible. If we can grow cheaper inside compared to having a garden outside, then it makes it really, really attractive to do that, especially in the winter months coming up here. Because if you're in Ohio, you have about 6 months of grow time and then 6 months of not growing time. And if you could do one of these things
Right.
in your back room, then it's fun.
Like 6 out and 6 in.
Mm-hmm.
Like 6 in soil. 6 months hydroponic.
You got it.
How long have you been growing veggies the hydroponic way?
Ooh, I've been doing this on and off for probably 7, almost 8 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep, I started when you were 2.
Do you prefer to grow this way or why? I mean why?
Yeah, I definitely do prefer to grow this way because I can control a lot more of the variables.
Yeah.
At
And
least-
because you have like one to focus on,
Absolutely.
not like 1,000 out there and you're
Yeah.
like, wait, should I do this or this?
Yep.
This takes an hour.
Mhm.
This takes 2 hours. It starts 7 o'clock. What should I do? No.
Right. I think the big thing that I like about this compared to regular gardening is that there's no weeding. You never have
Sure.
one weed, period. And
The weed needs to grip on stuff. And
exactly.
it's water, so it can't do this to water and stay there.
Well,
Or-
it can,
Oh.
but the thing is that weed seeds are always going to be floating around the air outside and in the soil,
Mhm.
and the only seeds that grow back here are the ones that we bring into the environment. So that's actually the nice thing about this. If you don't want weeds, hydroponics is for you. There's some different diseases and stuff like that we'll have to, make sure that we've got good airflow and a few other things. But for the most part, I like hydroponics just a little bit better than growing in the soil.
Okay. Alright guys, so now we're going to talk about our videos for the next 5 weeks.
Cool. What are we going to come up with? What are we going to talk about?
Well, you'll see.
All right, I'm listening.
Here are the next 5 videos. Food and plants. We have to eat, and they do too. Like, so we need to eat to survive. They do too, because we feed them, they feed us.
Ooh, so that's pretty cool. So you're talking like life cycle and what they need to thrive. Very
Yes,
cool.
because
I love it.
we eat a lot of veggies, so
We need to figure out we're feeding them good stuff, so when they feed us, we're getting good stuff.
yes, sir.
Very cool. All right.
Our second video, breathing. It's not just for people.
I like that. I like that.
We do.
Yeah.
They do too.
Right. We'll definitely talk about how we're similar, but we'll also talk about
How we're different.
how the plants are a little bit different from us. And that's a really cool cycle. That what we give to them, they use, and what they give to us, we use. Yeah. Without plants, we wouldn't be here. All right. What else? We got a couple more videos. It sounds like.
Yes. Video number 3. Sunshine. Get your light right.
I like that. It's pretty catchy.
I know, right?
No, that's a really good thing to talk about. Because if we're going to be growing inside when there's not a lot of sunshine, we need to figure out how to get something that seems like sunlight to those plants. We also need to figure out how to do it really cost effectively. We don't want a $200 electric bill, and that kind of defeats the purpose of growing some lettuce. Okay.
Video number 4. Choosing the right seeds and how to start them.
Okay. So I think that, and tell me if I'm wrong on this one, there's going to be a couple different things, and we've done this before here, but now we're going to put it on video for everybody to see.
Yep.
Some plants just love to grow hydroponically.
Yep.
Other plants, not so much. So we're going to be selecting the right plants to do the job that we want,
And
it'll
telling the
give us the-
viewers to choose those. 'Cause
Exactly.
if they choose the wrong one, they're gonna be like, well, that's what's useful.
Exactly. So the thing is if you can learn from somebody else's mistakes first, so much easier for the person watching.
Yes,
So
sir.
we'll tell you what to do, we'll also tell you what not to do, because we've done both. Cool.
Alright. Video number 5. Taking care of your plants. Keep them healthy. Just like us, we need to keep our bodies healthy, and we need to keep the plants healthy. Because
Correct.
if we don't keep the plants healthy, they die. And then we don't have food to eat.
No, that's a very important point right there. It would be really, really disappointing if we got all the way through this grow process and
And
like
then-
next week we're gonna harvest, and then something comes in and just trashes everything, and then no more salads, bad
Yeah.
days.
No.
Correct. So yeah, no, I think that sounds like a phenomenal lineup. That'll be the next 5 weeks, and I think that we're ready to really get going. We're gonna have some fun, and I'm
Show
looking
you
forward.
guys how to do it.
Absolutely, man. I'm looking forward to doing this. I think it'll be fun. People will learn right along with us, and we're going to be doing a lot of do-it-yourself stuff. So we'll take a trip to the hardware store sometimes. We'll show you what we buy. Sometimes we can get stuff on clearance for super cheap. We're all about doing it just as bare bones as possible. Doesn't need to look pretty. It needs to get the job done.
Okay.
Sound like a plan?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, hey, with that, you guys have a great day, and as always,
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. And remember, you're awesome, and to keep on growing.
see you guys.
Bye.